What is up, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of Our 60 Journey. My name is Lucas, and I'm here to help us build healthy relationships. So, over the last, 2.5 years that I've been engaged, I've definitely gone through a lot of ups and downs. I've gone through a lot of getting deeper into myself and how it is I handle myself in relationships, not only with my partner, but now also with other people. There's been a lot of shadow aspects that have come up, and I look back on this channel when I first started up, and I was watching through all the videos about setting boundaries and communicating and all these different things about what makes a relationship healthy. And I will say 100% that I have been tested in all of those things. All the lessons I was putting out before I found my partner, before I got engaged, they've all come to the surface testing me, saying, are you capable of doing this? Are you capable of really living a relationship that's worthy of remark? And one of the things that's come in so strongly for me is how hard it is for people to really express their inner vulnerabilities. And for me, as someone who is naturally open and who wants to communicate all of my thoughts and feelings, even when they're quote-unquote not needed, being comfortable accepting when other people don't want to communicate their thoughts and feelings, having a difficulty without... When I witness something in somebody and there's a mood or an aggression or something that I feel the need to immediately point out, because I'm like, wait a minute, what's happening? The mood just changed. I'm realizing how hard it is for people to communicate, and how often people have buried parts of themselves so deep that they don't even realize what it is they're feeling or what they're doing. And it really has spoken a lot to me about PTSD, and how, it's kind of one of those things where, for example, my grandma makes these jokes, like when I'm doing something, I'm cleaning, or I do something really smart, I tell myself, man, Luke, you are so smart. And I talk myself up. I build myself through my words, through my confidence, through my beliefs about who I am as a person. And it was her responding back and saying, and modest too. And it kind of hit me in the beginning where it was like, well, I do want to be modest and I do want to be humble, but I also want to speak to myself out loud and say how proud I am of myself, how good I'm doing, how smart I am, how talented I am, telling myself those words. And it's really come to the surface how many people have mixed up words like humble and modesty with self-deprecation and a lack of self-belief. Because in the end, if we don't believe in ourselves and we don't give ourselves the positive words of encouragement, there might not be anyone else who will. It might just be us, only us. And that relationship we have with ourselves, and how the relationship we have with ourselves is so important, and how some people, they've been programmed from a very young age by their parents, by other adults like teachers and mentors and bosses. They've been programmed to not be bright, to not be expressive, to not be open with who they are and be comfortable with who they are. And that's been my biggest lesson, is it's so easy for the people who are expressive and who are, say, empathic to be that way, but what have the other people gone through? What trials and tribulations and sufferings have they experienced that have made them shut down to where they don't acknowledge their own pain? They don't acknowledge their talents, their strengths, their wisdom. And it can be difficult to be in a relationship with anyone, whether it's a partner or a friend or a coworker who just doesn't talk nicely to themselves. And sometimes I feel myself being drained by it, because I'll be around and the sarcasm is so strong in this culture right now, where people respond with sarcastic remarks. Like, you can give someone a compliment and be like, oh, good job. And they're like, well, let me tell you how much I've screwed this up before. And it's like they've programmed themselves to be negative, to talk down, to belittle their own energy. And that disempowerment and having to witness it and still be here in front of it, because sometimes I worry, because they say you become the top 5 people you spend time with. And if you're surrounded by people who are at a lower vibration than you, that ease of falling into the low vibration, it's so simple and it's so easy to just trip, and all of a sudden you're in the same energy, you're in the same vibe. And I've found myself there a lot. And, you know, sometimes I question, like, am I supposed to be close to these people? Am I supposed to let these people go? You know, I've been surrounded a lot by victims my whole life. And in a way, it's supported me on my own journey of the hero. And not necessarily to be a hero for them, but to be a hero for myself. And to hope that by saving my own self, my own energy, and empowering myself through my words, thoughts, actions, vibrations, that maybe I'll empower those people, and maybe I won't. And I know that as light workers, so many of us struggle with what relationships to keep in, especially as our light comes on and we realize that we're kind of becoming the excluded person in a lot of our circles. Because of our different way of looking at life, our positivity can be viewed as like girl out in the field picking daisies, looking at unicorns and rainbows, and the world couldn't possibly be bad. And that's not true. The world does have bad. And I could probably argue that the world has just as much bad as good. And for me, in relationships, it's about really focusing on what it is that I can fix, and what it is that is my part to fix and what isn't, and then just accepting the things that I can't change. The Serenity Prayer, right? Simple thing to read, but it's so much more difficult to practice and to really initiate with ourselves. And that's been my biggest struggle with relationships. Really ever, but it's brought it more to my face over the last few years because I'm in a partnership now. And there are times that, you know, when I feel myself being the positive one, that I just kind of want to turn it off and go, well, fuck it. But having to keep that light on and having to continue to be myself with my thoughts and my energy, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. And, you know, I look back sometimes on like the story of Jesus and I think about all the people he was close to. You know, he was friends with the thieves and the whores and the liars and the misfits of society. And I wonder to myself, how did he keep his energy up? How did he keep his vibration strong? Because there are times that even when I'm saying the right thing and doing the right thing, you know, the right thing, that I still find myself wondering, is this interaction draining me right now? Is it helping me get better, or is it keeping me to get worse? And, you know, one thing I want to say to all of the light workers out there is that if you feel like you just can't be around quote-unquote negative people without them draining your light, you're not doing your job. That's our job, is that we conjure and manifest the light so we can take it into dark places. And from what I've learned about taking my light into dark places is that many times that light goes out. Whether it be by water, wind, air, or earth, it goes out. Water, wind, air. Water, wind, fire, earth. The light goes out. And we lose it for a moment. And that's something I want to encourage you as a light worker to do, is to keep turning your light back on. Keep going into dark places. If there's something about a relationship that you're connecting to and you want to get close to and you want to keep that relationship going, you're going to have to gamble with the fact that your light might go out. And you might not know when it's going to come back on. You know, it's amazing how sometimes just the smallest phrase can shatter us. You know, most recently, just another brief story. I've been dealing with a parent at work who has been going through a lot. She's pregnant, she's in the middle of possibly moving out to a different state, and they were coming up with like reason after reason after reason of like to stay, to go, to stay, to go, to stay, to go, keep this but not that, keep this but not, keep all of this, not that, we should just get a refund. And the very last interaction we had, she accused me of not having a heart. She said I had no heart and then I wasn't listening with my ears. And that got me. It was just like, even the fact that I knew I had a heart and I know that I'm listening, hearing someone accuse you of that, it can tear you down. People's lies and people's own personal internal deceptions, right? They deceive themselves and then feed those deceptions to you. That internal deception, it can tear us down. It can make us feel like we're not seen. And we have to work through it and get back up off of the ground after we've been knocked down and the light has been extinguished. And you know, it only took me like 24 to 36 hours to recover from that light going out, but there have been times it's taken weeks to recover from one person's comment. And I think that for all the times that I've been knocked down and my light's been extinguished, there's probably equal number of times, I looked at the clock right, it was 10 minutes, wow. There's probably equal number of times that I've also lit someone's fire up, and it stayed lit for periods longer than just that moment, even after I was gone. And that's how I keep myself flowing in relationships, is knowing that all the darkness I experience, I'm shedding light in the opposite place. It's again a perspective thing, right? There's good and bad, we can't avoid it, but every time the light goes out somewhere, a light goes on somewhere else. There's equal light and darkness in the universe, and it's our job to make sure that we continue to light up our part of the field, our part of the grid. We are responsible for lighting up the light of not only ourselves, but of other people, and the planet, and the universe. We are the light makers. Always remember that, and always keep it inside your heart when you're dealing with tough people that aren't just quite connecting to you. Stay lit. And trust that when the light does go out, it'll light again. So you guys have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.